Hi, Shelly here, playing in my art journal again this week, and my idea is kind of a Christmas sweater effect. I'll use some gel prints, stencils, glitter, and contact paper as a mask. So let's get started. These are the papers I think I want to use for my background. These are the gel prints, and I've got three on deli paper and one on tissue because I want that red. I wish this was more of a bright red, like the orangey red, than this more barn red. So what I'm going to attempt to do is, real quick, I'm going to line my stencil back up and see if I can put some bright red on top, and if it'll just sink in, it won't make a difference, or will it make it a little bit more orangey red? I don't think I could hurt anything by doing it, so my paint is just cheap paint. It's not very opaque, so it may not make a big difference. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make a big difference, but probably getting it on there too globby. All right, did we do any good? Probably not, where it's dried a little bit more thinly on there, but it's a little something. We'll make it work. It's funny how some of them went way more on the bright red side than others, but definitely better. And so now what I want to do is just, as oftentimes, I'm going to tear my papers for collaging. I'm not going to be real careful about it. If you know me, I'm kind of just go nuts with it because I just want them to be kind of random. But I'm just going to tear my papers real quick, and then we'll be ready to collage. Okay, I'm using my Mod Podge today, and I'm just going to collage this on really quick. I love working with painted deli paper. It makes it a little bit more strong. You've got a little more working time to lift things up and move them around if you need to. Although I do prefer my old deli paper that doesn't have the plastic backing. The new stuff I bought has got like a waxy, it's all a little bit waxy, but the original deli paper I bought that had 1,000 sheets from, I think, Sam's Club or something, like 10 years ago, was the best. But this latest stuff is too waxy for me. I'm hopeful. I think these bigger squares are going to be too much. I think we're going to go with smaller. I want more pattern color in my background. Not thinking about it very much, just going along and having fun. Okay, I'm super excited about that. Now I'm just going to go in with a baby wipe and gently kiss my canvas, kiss my page all over, and make sure that I've got a nice even layer of my Mod Podge on there so it dries more evenly. And my texture is the same over the entire page. Okay, we'll let that dry and then we can see what we want to do next. Page is dry, so now I'm just going to go through, bring it away from the wax paper, and then clean up my edges. Now I want to put out a little bit more interest in my background and a little bit more of the red coming through, I think. And so I think I'm going to put out a little bit of my bright red and just a smidge of my dark red. I've got a couple of Snowflake stencils here. Not sure what I want to use. This was my latest one that I just did as a tester on paper. Maybe we'll start with it. Dogs are still playing. Again, most of this won't be seen, but I want it to look good when you do see it. I'll dry this a little bit before I go back over with another one. They dry quickly because there's not much paint on them. All right, I think I'm going to stop there. Whenever I do this, I want to make sure I really let this dry for like at least a half hour or longer if possible. I may go longer tonight because I want to make sure when I stick my contact paper down on top, I'm not going to bring up any of the paint that I've already done. Okay, so now my contact paper is done cutting. My mat isn't super strong in tackiness. It's an old mat. I don't use this size very often, but it still works fine with a little help from some masking tape. The big thing I've found is to make sure that the top edge that goes in and out the most often and in the beginning, that you really make sure that's down well, because if there's any little areas where you cut like that, boy, that'll get hung up in the machine and cause some problems. So I always like to put a good bit of masking tape on the top. Starting at the top, I want to start peeling off hopefully everything's going to cooperate. I find it's best just to go slow and make sure everything's letting go like you want it to. Okay, it cut out very nicely, and I think the hardest part of all is going to be able to get it onto my journal page and get it on straightish. I think that the things that are not hooked together will be the hardest, but I'm hoping that I will be able to, well, let's just try it and see what happens, because I may have to redesign and start over again if I'm wrong. Let's see, first of all, let's see if we can get it kind of where it's gonna go. We can do that, hold it in place, get the edge started. Oh, didn't want to stick down. Like I said, it's going to be hard for me to get it perfectly straight, and if you're a perfection person, this probably is not the page for you. But I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to push down really hard to make sure that I've got really good adhesion. And this part is not quite, it's way higher as I look at it now than the rest of it. So I'm going to pull that up a little bit and lower this down here. Again, not going for perfection, but you know, you want it to be pretty good. And also, if you mess with it too much, it won't stick down anymore. So don't go crazy with it. And then I'm going to cut my next row off. And this one I'm going to start by from the top and go down is the only way I can see it working, possibly. Straight-ish, hopefully. I need something to hold. I need more fingers. What if we turn it sideways? Using the contact paper is definitely easier if you have nice, big, bold graphics. I've got this torn spot here that makes it extra fiddly. I feel like if I could get past that, it might be okay. Let's... All right, wow, that was painful. Okay. I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to get these deer on there. Okay, another fiddly one. This one is very scary. But they are hooked together, so if I could get it started, maybe, I don't know. next, now that I'm getting good, I'm realizing how to do it. Now that I'm about done. So I'm going to start all of my trees and peel them halfway down. But the good thing is if and when you try this, you'll have it all figured out. You'll know what to do. Definitely the easiest so far. And then this one I always get a little bit higher and then go down. I'm not sure why. Okay. I forgot about this one little piece of right there. I wonder. All right. A little bit high. Okay, we're gonna call that good. Okay, I think I wanna use green for my outer layer. And I'm gonna just put out some of my bright green here, kind of like a limey green. And a little bit of the dark green. And I'm also going to put out a little bit of white. And then I'm just going to kind of do a mix with just a little bit of the dark, not very much of the dark. So I'll get I'm just using my big sponge, my bath sponge that I've quartered. It's just sponge from the Dollar Tree. I don't think I'm going to use my green after all. I think I'm just going to go get a little bit more of the white. Work it in. Now we'll dry this. Now I've got my white, my dauber, and my snowflake stencil. I want these to be a little better quality than my first one. So I'm gonna work in the paint to my dauber, but get some of that, I don't want it globby. There. Okay, and we'll dry this a little bit. I thought I was going to stop here and lift off my contact paper, but because it's the holidays and that's the only time I do glitter, I think I'm going to do some glitter. So I'm just going to take my dauber and cut off the white, move my dauber, my makeup sponge down to my 1/2 inch mark, and then I will get another plate out, my Mod Podge, because I do not want to get glue or glitter in my Mod Podge, and I'm not going to need very much anyway. Get this, and I'm using this Crystal Diamond Extra Fine Glitter. Again, I want it to be subtle. Now I'm just going to go in with some, trying to make sure, just put a few of them here and there. And then I'm going to just, got my Mod Podge again. I don't want to glob it on. I want to make sure I put a little bit on. can't even see where I put it. It's very subtle. You definitely cannot see the detail, but that's okay. Well, you can, kind of. And I definitely need another one right in here. I don't normally like to use my heat tool with Mod Podge because it makes it glossy. I don't really care about it this time because my glitter's on there. So I'm going to hit this with my heat tool really quick just to give it a quick dry. Now the really fun part. Hopefully it worked. Well, that's my page. I like how it turned out. I think when I do something like this again, I would not put the white on top of our gel print collage. I think the red is good. Other colors would be good, but not the white. If you're gonna put white on the top like I did, I think that we would have had a better contrast in some of these places had I not put the white. But I like how it turned out. Like I said, it's an art journal page and I'm just having fun and experimenting. But I'm pleased how it turned out. I hope you'll try doing some layers and using some contact paper to do something similar. And I hope you'll join me in my next video. Bye for now.